Good morning, students. Today we're going to discuss about your second lab program. The question says like this: design a superclass called staff with following details, and we need to have three subclasses: teaching, technical, and contract. So we need to create at least three staff objects for all these categories. Okay, so now you can see this class diagram here. Class, I have taken staff. Who are the instant variables of the staff? Staff ID, name, phone number as well as salary. And we should write two methods. One is read method as well as display method. Now this is the base class. This is a base class. Now these are the three subclasses. One is teaching, technical, and contract. Now staffs means, if you take an example of a college, there might be a technical staffs, teaching staffs, and guest lecturers, right? So teaching staff is also a staff, technical staff is also a staff, and contractor staff is also a staff. So now teaching will inherit from staff, technical will inherit from staff, contract will inherit from staff. Now staff ID, name, phone number, salary will be a part of the teaching staff, but extra fields will be there, that is the domain, in which domain they are expert and what are the publications they have done. For technical staffs, what are the skills they have. For contractor staffs, as the name indicates, it's a contractor, they will be having some period. Okay, so read, display also will be a part of this subclasses. Now we'll see a program, like we'll see how to define this class. So class staff, which has this 4 members. Okay, these are the 4 members. So I'll just open one notepad. So let me write here class staff. So who are the members of the staff? So let me define all this as a string. Staff ID, name, phone number, and salary. So we'll just write one. We'll define one scanner object. So why we are defining a scanner object? Because we need to read. We need to read this details from the keyboard. For that reason, I'm just defining a scanner object. So if you see in this diagram, so we have defined the instant variables of that class. Now we should define the read method as well as display method. Very simple. We need to read all these members and we need to display members of that class, that is instant variables of the class, and we need to display it. That's all. In the read, I'll just give system dot out dot println. I'll just give the details, enter the details of the staff, like enter the first, shall I give enter staff ID, comma, name, phone number, and salary. Okay. Now after this, how do you read it? Staff ID is equal to s dot next line, correct? Because for your understanding purpose, I have taken everything as a string: ID, name, phone, as well as salary. If you want, you can declare the salary as double, your wish. So for your understanding purpose, I have taken everything as a string. So staff ID is equal to s dot next line. You will read the input. Similarly, you have to read the name. So name equal to s dot what? S dot next line. Then what about phone number? Phone number also s dot next line, because everything we have taken as what? As a string. So I'll just type this as next line. What about salary? Salary also s dot next line. That's all read method. Now we need to display it. So to display it, I'll just write void display. So like just write system dot out dot println. First you have to display the staff ID. So I'll just display staff ID. Plus after staff ID, I should give some space for the name. So I'll just give /t plus name plus /t plus phone number plus /t plus salary. Should I give /t here? No, because at the end of the variable what we have to display here, you can just stop here and close the display method and close the staff class. So very simple. Have you understood how to define the staff class? Over. Now staff class is a base class. Now which is the subclass of the staff? We have three subclasses: teaching, technical and contract. So if you understand one subclass, how to define one subclass, remaining two will be very easy. So we'll see now. Okay, so we'll see the subclass. So class teaching extends staff. So because the teaching is a derived class, whereas staff is a base class, so we are inheriting the feature. So now you see that since teaching staff is also a staff, now staff ID, name, phone number and salary will be a part of this. So now leaving that, which are the two extra fields we have to define here? Domain and publication. So as we all know that inheritance is used for code reusability, no need to declare this staff ID, name, phone number and salary. No need to declare because we are extending it. So you just declare only the extra fields, that is domain and publication. Now even this also has void read method. Now you tell me the base class return type read method, return type as well as name of the method, and the derived class read method, the both are same. The return type method name of derived class and return type method name of the base class, both are same. Then what is this? This concept is known as what? Method overriding. Now whenever there is a method overriding, what happens? Now the derived class implementation will hide the base class implementation. Okay, so now as I said, the teaching staff is also a staff. We need to read the features of staff ID, name, phone number and salary. So we need to read. So already this part is read by the base class. This already is defined in the base class. Now I want to call that base class read method. To call that, shall I use super.read? When I call super.read, it will call the base class implementation reads method. Base class implementation read method. Now it will read staff ID, name, phone number and salary. So we read all that four fields. Now which are the other fields we should read for teaching? Which are the other fields? Domain as well as publication? Yes. So now here you just give system dot out dot println. You simply give enter domain and publication. So you just read it. How do you read it? You just give what's that? Domain is equal to s dot next line. Domain is equal to s dot next line, and publication is equals to s dot next line. That's all. Read method of teaching staff. Now display. Now you write void display. Now void display. Now here already I have printed staff ID, name, phone number and salary. Already it is read in the base class. No need to define it again. What we can do? We can simply use what? Super dot display to call that. Super dot display to call that. Yes. Now what are the other things I need to display now? Domain as well as publication. So just display domain plus, you need to give some slash t here. Yes, slash t plus publication. That's all. Display method of teaching staff. Now if you have understood this, the code might look lengthy, but it is very easy. So if you understood how to define a class teaching extend staff, the same thing you have to use for class technical. Now here class technical. So what you will do for class technical here? Now can you all guess that how, like the same way like teaching class technical, what you should do here? Extends staff. Okay. So now as usual what I'll do here is, the extra field is only, what is the extra field here? What's the extra field? Only skills. Only skills. I'll just declare that skills here. So I'll just display the program here. Now yeah. Now see here, just skills I'll give and void read. So super dot it will call the super class read method, and only thing I have to read what? Skills here. That's all. Read method display. Super dot display, and you have to display only what? Skills. Similarly, you have to go for contract. So contract has the extra field is period. Same thing in the void read, you write super dot read, it will call and read the period. And in the display, super dot display, you print the period here. Now come for main program. In the main program, they asked to display at least 3 staffs. So at least 3 staffs. So what I'll do here is, I'll just enter the number of staff details you need to create. System.out.println, enter the number of staff details you need to create. So I'm reading the number of staffs. After this, since it is, we have to create at least 3 staffs. Each staff is one object. Each staff is what? One object. So for that reason, I'm creating array of objects for teaching. Now if you want three teaching staffs, so you need to create array of objects of that. So I'm creating array of teaching staffs, array of technical staffs, array of contract staffs. So if it is 3, now it is, what is the object here? steach, right? Steach of 0 is one object, steach of 0 is one object, steach of 2 is one object. So 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2 will be the objects. So that's why we are using the for loop. So now we have just created the array of objects, array of object variables, but memory is not allocated for it. So we need to allocate a memory. So see here, we already discussed that in the class, how to create the object. Now this is the steach is one variable, steach of I is just a variable, that's all. But memory is not allocated. You need to allocate the memory by giving new teaching. After that we have to read. Then after reading it, similarly you have to read for which staffs? Technical staffs. So we are creating the object for technical. Similarly we are writing the for loop. We are creating the contract staffs. We are reading what? The contract staffs. Okay. After this, now we have to display the staff details. So teaching staff means for I equal to 0, I less than I plus plus, by using that object called display method for teaching staffs. For technical staffs you call by using that object. Similarly you call the contract staffs by using that object dot display. That's all to a program. The program looks lengthy, but it's very easy.